and approach to the meaning, restores the experience in a different form. Beyond any meaning we can assign to happiness, the past experience revived in the meaning is not the experience of one life only, but of many generations. Not forgetting something that is probably quite ineffable.
Moonlight, turn your face to the moonlight. Let your memory lead you. Open up into real. If you find there the meaning of what happiness is, then a new life will begin.
Gus is the cat at the theater door. His name, as I ought to have told you before, is really asparagus. But that's such a fuss to pronounce that we usually call him just Gus. His coat's very shabby, he's thin as a rake, and he suffers from palsy that makes his paw shake. Yet he was in his youth quite the smartest of cats, but no longer a terror to mice or to rats. For he isn't the cat that he was in his prime, though his name was quite famous, he says, in his time. And whenever he joins his friends at their club, which takes place at the back of the neighboring pub, he loves to regale them, if someone else pays, with anecdotes drawn from his palmiest days. For he once was a star of the highest degree. He has acted with Irving, he's acted with Tree, and he likes to relate his success on the halls, where the gallery once gave him 7 catcalls. But his greatest creation, as he loves to tell, was Fire for our Fiddle, the fiend of the fair.
I have played in my time every possible part, and I used to know 70 speeches by heart. I'd extemporize back chat. I knew how to gag, and I knew how to let the cat out of the bag. I knew how to act with my back and my tail. With an hour of rehearsal, I never could fail. I'd a voice that would soften the hardest of hearts, whether I took the lead or in character parts. I have sat by the bedside of poor little Nell when the curfew was rung, then I swung on the bell. In the pantomime season, I never fell flat, and I once understudied Dick Whittington's cat. But my grandest creation, as history will tell, was Fire for a Fiddle, the fiend of the fell.
Then if someone will give him a toothful of gin, he will tell how he once played a part in East Lynne. At a Shakespeare performance, he once walked on hat when some actor suggested the need for a cat.
And I say now, these kittens, they do not get trained as we did in the days when Victoria reigned. They never get drilled in a regular troop, and they think they are smart just to jump through a hoop.
And he says as he scratches himself with his claws,
Well, the theater is certainly not what it was. These modern productions are all very well, but there's nothing to equal, from what I hear tell, that moment of mystery when I made history as Fire for a Fiddle, the fiend of the fell. I once crossed the stage on a telegraph wire to rescue a child when a house was on fire. And I think that I still can, much better than most, produce blood-curdling noises to bring on the ghost. And I once played Growl Tiger. Could do it again. Could do it again. Could do it again.
He pursued his evil aims, rejoicing in his title of the Terror of the Thames.
His manner and appearance did not calculate to please. His coat was torn and seedy, it was baggy at the knees.
One ear was somewhat missing, no need to tell you why. And he scowled upon a hostile world from one forbidding eye. The cottagers of Rotherhithe knew something of his fame. At Hammersmith and Putney, people shuddered at his name. They would fortify the hen house, lock up the silly goose. When the rumor ran along the shore,
Growl Tigers on the loose.
the weak canary that fluttered from its cage.
Woe to the pampered Pekingese that faced Growl Tiger's rage.
Woe to the bristling bandicoot that lurks on foreign ships.
And woe to any cat with whom Growl Tiger came to grips.
But most to cats of foreign race his hatred had been vowed. To cats of foreign name and race no quarter was allowed. The Persian and the Siamese regarded him with fear, because it was a Siamese that bore his missing ear. Now on a peaceful summer night all nature seemed at play. The tender moon was shining bright, the barge at Molesey lay. All in the balmy moonlight it lay rocking on the tide, and Growl Tiger was disposed to show his sentimental side.
Mi amore,
Sono qui.
In the forepeak of the vessel, Growl Tiger stood alone.
concentrating my attention on the Lady Grittlebone, and my raffish crew were sleeping in their barrels and their bunks.
As the Siamese came creeping in their sampans and their junks.
Growl Tiger had no eye or ear for aught but Griddlebone.
And the lady seemed enraptured by my manly baritone, disposed to relaxation and awaiting no surprise.
The moonlight shone reflected from 1,000 bright blue eyes. And closer still and closer, the sampan circled round. And yet from all the enemy there was not heard a sound. The foe was armed with toasting forks and cruel carving knives, and the lovers sang their last duet in danger of their lives.
In una tepida notte d'estate, allor che la natura era nel pieno fulgare, fresca argiada, splendeva il chiar di luna, sopra la venatura si poteva vedere il galeone che ancorava. Oscillava in silenzio nel vento profumato dalla marea dei navigli serenamente guato in quella tepida notte che c'è dunque di mare, sai, tanta poesia. Il pirata divento sentimentale. Oscillare in silenzio nel vento profumato dalla marea del naviglio sereno
on the board, abandoning their sampans, their putaways, and junks. They battened down the hatches on the crew within their bunks. Then Griddlebone, she gave a screech, for she was badly scared. I'm sorry to admit it, but she quickly disappeared.
She probably escaped with ease. I'm sure she was not drowned.
But the staring ring of flashing steel, proud tiger did surround.
These modern productions are all very well, but there's nothing to equal from what I hear tell. That moment of mystery when I made history.
Skimble Shanks, the railway cat, the cat on the railway train.
There's a whisper down the line at 11:39 when the night mail's ready to depart. Saying, Skimble, where is Skimble? Has he gone to hunt the thimble? We must find him or the train can't start.
All the guards and all the porters and the station master's daughters would be searching high and low, saying, Skimble, where is Skimble? For unless he's very nimble, then the night mail just can't go. At 11:42, with the signal overdue, and the passengers all frantic to a man, that's when I would appear, and I'd saunter to the rear. I'd been busy in the luggage van.
Then he gave one flash of his glass green eyes, and the signal went on clear.
They'd be off at last for the northern part of the northern hemisphere.
Skimble Shanks, the railway cat, the cat on the railway train.
You I'd say that by and large it was me who was in charge of the sleeping car express. From the driver and the guards to the bagman playing cards, I would supervise them all, more or less.
Down the corridor he paces and examines all the faces of the travelers in the first and the third. He establishes control by a regular patrol, and he'd know at once if anything occurred. He would watch you without blinking, and he saw what you were thinking, and it's certain that he didn't approve of hilarity and riot, so the folk were very quiet when Skimble was about and on the move. You could play no pranks with Skimble Shanks. He's a cat that couldn't be ignored. So nothing went wrong on the northern hill when Skimble Shanks was aboard.
It was very pleasant when they found their little den with the name written up on the door. And the berth was very neat with the newly folded sheet and not a speck of dust upon the floor. There was every sort of light, you could make it dark or bright, and a button you could turn to make a breeze. And a funny little basin you're supposed to wash your face in, and a crank to shut the window should you sneeze. Then the guard looked in politely and would ask you very brightly, "Do you like your morning tea?"
We could stop.
But I was right behind him and was ready to remind him, for Skimble won't let anything go wrong.
When they crept into their cozy berth and pulled up the counterpane,
They all could reflect it was very nice to know that they wouldn't be bothered by mice.
They could leave all that to the railway cat, the cat of the railway train.
Skimble Shanks, the railway cat, the cat of the railway train.
In the watches of the night, I was always fresh and bright. Every now and then I'd have a cup of tea, with perhaps a drop of scotch while I was keeping on the watch, only stopping here and there to catch a flea. They were fast asleep at crew, and so they never knew that I was walking up and down the station. They were sleeping all the while I was busy at Carlisle, where I met the station master with elation. They might see me at Dumfries if I saw them in the police. If there were